And we're back, everybody. Sound a little nasally because my sinuses within the last couple days have really clogged up on me, so bear with me here. We've got the hardware we needed. The one bolt that goes through for the body here. You'll see that. Got our body. There's our carburetor, metering diaphragm, the lever, and the metering check ball. They all go back in there. You put the little metering ball down in the slot for it. Put your lever in, and then you thread the needles here through that slot there. So I think I'm going to bolt the body on first, and this has a spot for the nut on the back of it here. We'll just keep an orientation with that. That's how I did it last time. And yes, I will show you the trick on, or the way I was told on how to tune these carburetors on these, how to get them set in a certain spot. So we'll get that body slapped on there, and we'll go from there. Alright, got the case finagled on. Got a couple more bolts tightened, but this bolt, this back bolt over here, and the one that goes through the center is the only thing that holds this case entirely on. So, no biggie. So then that just slips right off. There you go. That's how you get it. So, I'm going to talk about what is actually one of the hardest things to do on this, what I've found. Getting the throttle rod right there onto that right there. I know the diaphragm's not on because I'm just demonstrating. What it is, when you go to put this on, this is why I say you have to have the points cover off, and you have to finagle that rod while you have the bolts, a couple of these to hold the diaphragm in place, and get that rod. It has very little tolerance to it, a good 90-degree pick. I had one somewhere, I don't know where it's at. You use that to get it on there, and then once you get it, hope that you finagle this just in the place where you get the screws on, and you're set. So that is, I consider, the hardest thing to do on this whole thing, honestly, getting that lever reattached. So I got to get the carb put together here, which it's not really difficult. Make sure you check your reed valve and everything, make sure it's good. And this one is. And other than that, shouldn't have too much of a problem. It's all good and engaged. Make sure when you're putting the case on, you get that lined up to where it's inside the starter pulls there, inside them. So we'll get this carburetor put on there, and we'll go from there. Alright, carb's on. Having done it a few times, not too difficult. So next we're going to I'll show you here the absolute hell it is. Put that linkage on. You can see it moving in there. That's the gap that you got to work with. So linkage is on, and as I promised, or said I would do, show you how to tune these. So you've got to take your primer rod out, and this is your tool. What you do, you take your primer rod, you put it in this hole right here. And I haven't tested this, but this is what I was told. You take your main one here, this is your main, and you screw it all the way in until it hits this primer rod. And then you back it out 3 turns. And that supposedly is what sets these carburetors. Have not tried it. I haven't even messed with this main one yet, honestly. I haven't even counted turns, nothing. So we're going to hope everything works good there. But so that's the big secret. Or at least, I don't know if it's a secret, but I haven't read anywhere. I was just told that's how you do that. Over here is your idle speed adjustment. Things having a very terrible time focusing. Okay, idle speed adjustment. Your throttle. Got your primer here, which it's got to go in behind the throttle there. So, and then you get your cover, and you got some other screws that help hold down the carburetor and everything. So, I mean, in all theory right now, this should run. At least off prime, since the carburetor's on there and everything in the reed valve. So, I do have another gas cap outside that does not have an O-ring, but this has a good O-ring and bad gas cap. So we swapped those out. Other than that, I'm going to test for spark, make sure it's still there, everything is good. The on and off switch on this is kind of iffy. Guess I should have figured that out sooner, but because one of the holders is broke. So I'll get back into here, get all this tested, but other than that, this is right now theoretically ready to run. So should get back onto that and everything. It should be the next video part right there. I do have the air filter cover, but I don't have a good air filter for it. So, I mean, they're not exactly cheap on eBay. So, dropping everything. Look, another primer rod from the other carburetor. So, this is it. This is pretty much it. These hold down, and these air screws help hold down the carburetor and so on. So, the air filter on this has seen better days. I can find another one. So, I think that might be all for this video. Hopefully the next one we will try and test it. I'll get some other finishing screws put into here, make sure everything's tight, go over everything, double, triple check, make sure the oiler works. But I want to make sure this engine is going first. So, alright, I say thanks for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thank you.